Good morning all. It's Friday morning in a wet Derby here in the UK. As promised, today's video is going to be about the Beatles Let It Be box set. As you can see, it is a proper box set all the way around. This was released in May 1970, so it's over 51 years old now. As I mentioned on the video yesterday, this is actually a South African pressing, so it will be on the Parlophone label and not on Apple, so it is actually pretty rare. And the catalogue number on the back is PXSJ1, which if you can see there, I think you can see that. Where on the UK it would be PXS1. But the actual outer cover is actually printed in England. So this is exactly the same, basically, as what you would have bought in the UK in 1970. And I think it was, at the time, it was priced at something like £3 or something, where an average LP was about £1. The only thing with these box sets is they are a bit fiddly to get things out of and in, so just bear with me 1 second while I try and get it out. So there is the actual outer sleeve now that it's out of the box. So you see, very, very flimsy, fully laminated. You know, it is nice, but probably would have been better to have a box where the box, you know, like the wedding album, came off at the top. Bit of creasing on the corners, a bit of creasing just there, but like I say, that's more the nature of how they are actually made. So what do we get when we open the box up? Okay, this is it. This is what you get. So like I say, this isn't laminated. This is like a darker sort of like black. So we open these flaps up. That's the album, which we're going to come back to now. You know, say things in a bit more detail about that in a second. First, I'll show you what other goodies you get in with it. So this is it. So you get, might be better doing that. So there you go. So you get the Get Back book, because of course Let It Be was originally going to be called Get Back, which is like I say, these are very, very flimsy. So it's housed in like a thing here. The actual book. Get it out. So here's the Get Back book. Lots of photos in it, and the sessions, Get Back stroke Let It Be sessions. And this book on its own is worth about £100, and I've just noticed that I've got a few loose pages in this, so it's probably only worth about 75. And that is the rest of the box set. See, it's very, very flimsy, very flimsy. Still nice to have, you know. If you've got the money to invest in one, I would say go for it. So let's have a look at the album then. So the album on the front are identical to the UK copy. On the back, then if you can see it, no Apple markings but Parlophone. And it's also got, probably not very clear here, flip back sleeves. You see that? Flip back sleeves. Still go like that, you might see it better. Flip back sleeves. Got flip back at the top, flip back here, and then flip back there. And like I say, you've got the all important Parlophone label. When you open it up, as you can see, Parlophone, not Apple. Interesting thing on this, on that there, I don't know if you can actually see it, but the credit for For You Blue is Harrison and McCartney. Now, as far as I know, Paul McCartney had nothing to do with the writing of that George Harrison song, whatsoever. So it's probably a label misprint. That's the other side. Vinyl is really nice thick vinyl. And here it says PCSJ 7096. It's like the original British LP would say PCS 7096. That PSX was only over on the outer packaging, wasn't on the labels at all. Like I say, this is a South African pressing, so it's not British, it's South African. I hope you can see that a bit better. So you know, I've not long started this channel, so you'll have to like bear with me. You know, I'm only doing it off me phone at the minute. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to have. Sound quality on this is actually spot on. I'd say it's on par with the British versions I've got. I haven't got a British version box set, but I've got lots of letter B's. So yeah, that's it. So, all important question, what's it worth? Well, for one, there's things for this and things against it, to be honest. This is where my knowledge comes in a little bit. First, it's South African pressing, which some people would say is a negative, not a positive, but a lot of people would buy that just because it's on Parlophone and not on Apple. The other good thing is the miscredit to McCartney. Well, Harrison McCartney for You Blue. Now on the British LPs and the American LPs, that just says Harrison. It was only George that wrote it, wasn't it? So how McCartney got a credit for that, I don't know. Other things for it, well, you know, it's in a flip back sleeve. For saying it, you know, this was pressed in 1970. As far as I know, EMI didn't do flip back sleeves by then. So there you go, that's flip back sleeve. The cover, to be honest, isn't that good, but if you look at it, it's actually quite dull. It's not what they call fully laminated, and this, although it's laminated on the front, it is actually starting to peel a little bit. Still nice, you know. Track list and everything on here is exactly the same as the British LP. Like I say, just a few things different, like, you know, it hasn't got Apple, it's got Parlophone logos, and obviously it's on Parlophone and not on Apple. And this is South African pressing. Now, in this sort of condition, on Discogs and eBay at the minute, if that was the British one, that goes from anywhere between £275 and about £500 at the minute. I mean, on eBay, these books are going for £100, £120 just on their own. Like I say, I've just flicked through this and I've noticed there is a couple of pages that are just coming a little bit loose, but then again, you know, it's 51 years old, isn't it, you know? So, is that worth more or less than the British one? On reflection, I'd say it's probably worth about the same. I wouldn't say it's worth any more, but I wouldn't say it's worth any less. If anything, if push came to shove, it probably could be worth a little bit more. So I would say a good price, if I was going to sell it, which I'm not, it'd probably be around £350 for this, if I was going to sell it. Not that I am, you know, it took me years to get a copy of this. Years ago I did have a British one, but unfortunately I hit hard times and I had to sell off my collection a few years back. So, that's the South African pressing of Let It Be by the Beatles. I've actually got some other South African Beatles LPs, I'll have to sort them out. So, what made me start record collecting? Well, it's hard to say really. I mean, when I was growing up as a kid, there was always music in our household. Sunday, can you remember the old radiograms that looked like pieces of furniture? That was always on. My mum and dad didn't have many records as such. My mum used to like Buddy Holly, and my dad was like into Gene Vincent and Little Richard and Roger Whittaker and people like that. So there was always, you know, music on it. Sunday was sort of like always music day. I started getting into record collecting when I was about 13 or 14. And believe it or not, though, Beatle Dave, I was actually punk rocker as well. So like I say, my range goes from everything from Buddy Holly to the Beatles to Slade, T-Rex, David Bowie, Sex Pistols, Madness, Big Audio Dynamite. Even got stuff like ABC and a little bit of Duran Duran, I think, from When Frankie Goes to Hollywood. So yeah, my range, you know, collecting field is vast, really. The only thing I don't really like, I'm not knocking it or anything, I don't really like sort of like country and western music. Classical music I can like listen to. But yeah, one of the first Beatles records I ever bought, believe it or not, was, I don't know if people can remember the label, MFP. I think it was around 1981. They re-released the Beatles Rock and Roll album, but that was a double album. They made it into two separate albums, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And it was just after John Lennon had died, because, like I say, at the time I was actually a punk rocker. This is going to sound stupid. And I can remember my dad coming home from work, because he worked nights, and he says, John Lennon's been murdered. And I actually thought he said John Lydon, you know, Johnny Rotten. So then I was thinking, Beatles, you know, who are the Beatles? You know, this is how sort of like, I wouldn't say I was ignorant, it's just like, I'd never really heard of them. I mean, I knew Yellow Submarine, like the cartoon films, like most people do. So I went out and I actually bought, I think it was Volume 1. They've got Twist and Shout, stuff like that. And since then, I've been hooked, and you know, this is how you get. Now, record collecting. A lot of people, there's pros and cons for record collecting. Some people have got to have every single pressing of a certain artist. Now, I mean, I just buy something. If I like it, I buy it, and that's it. If I've got the funds to buy it, I will buy it. It can get a bit out of hand sometimes. It's a bit like an addiction in one way, but nobody actually forces you to go out and buy anything, do they? So, you know, you've got to be sensible. Beatles stuff, you know, if I see a Beatles record, even if I got it, you know, if the price is right, I will still buy it. Because, you know, if it's a better copy than one I've got, excuse me, then I will keep the better copy, and then I will trade or sell the other one. You know, record collecting, it's what it says. You know, you collect it, but sometimes you do buy and sell as well to you know, to fund your collection. You know, I've got things on eBay and, you know, things like that, and we're hoping to do a record fair sometime this year, because I've never done one of them. So, you know, not selling like really expensive stuff, you know, probably albums from like £3 upwards sort of thing, you know. So some of the albums I've got on eBay a bit more, you know, I've got a couple of White albums and stuff on eBay, but a lot of Beatles stuff that I've got like 5 or 6 copies of. Yes, 5 or 6 copies of the same album. I think at one time I think it was 17 copies of Abbey Road. Yeah, 17 copies, and I think it was 12 copies of Let It Be. So, you know, I've had to trim it down a little bit. So, future videos, if you've got any comments or you'd like to see, you know, certain albums, if I've got it, you know, I'm quite happy to share my knowledge with people. And if I bring a little smile to somebody's face at the same time, then that's, you know, that's good. Like I say, I've been collecting for years and years and years. Some people take it really seriously, you know. I mean, I do, you know. I love my records, you know. I like playing them. I look after them. I clean them, you know. That's the most, you know. But some people will go out and they'll buy something and never play it. Most of my records, well, majority of my records, I do play. There's one or two that, you know, are worth quite a bit of money, which I don't play as regularly now, but they do still get played. So, from not so sunny Derby today in the UK, I hope you have a good weekend. If I get a chance, I will try and do another video in the next couple of days, but I can't promise. So, stay safe and keep collecting.